Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast again. I'm Jennifer, and this is our podcast. My sister is a Karen.
And I'm Karen. And this is our conversation that's all the in betweens in life that happen when you hear someone say, like, I got to go call my sister right now.
And we're just here to share it with you guys and
Yes.
let you know the secrets that happen.
Welcome or welcome
So,
back.
exactly. Welcome back. This is, I don't know, we're still in our short little burst intro podcast episodes. We have a few more of these. And then next week, we're going to start releasing one podcast per week on Wednesdays. So tune in for that. So today, we want to kind of talk about mental health. Karen has already mentioned in the past that she's had, in past episodes, that she's had some mental health struggles for most of her life, really. And while we do want to talk about that at some point and get really real about what that has looked like and felt like for both her and then for me as the sister watching it or trying to prevent it, today's not that day. It can be a lot, and it's not fun and it's not funny. And I don't know if people would put back in yet. So we do have an agreement between the two of us that when I initially pitched the podcast idea to Karen, I said to her, she said, I want to talk about my mental health struggles. And as the person on the sideline who is much more, it's like in the trenches, not on the sideline, but as the person in the trenches for a lot of years. Additionally, I've had other people in my life who I've been in the trenches with through this. I feel like it's important that this is not my story to tell, nor is it shouldn't be on my time. So we have an agreement that we want you guys to understand about when Karen's ready to talk about her mental health struggles or when she brings them up. That's her conversation to have. I will participate, but I will never bring it up. You won't see that happening. So today, this is an agreed upon topic, but really what we really want to talk about more than mental health struggles, that's not really today's topic. We just want to talk about like the things that we do, hobbies, relaxation, just the things that we do that help to keep our mental health in check, so to
Yes.
speak.
I would say I would describe my mental health as fragile. And like Jennifer said, she's been very respectful. She has, I mean, as my older sister, she's always been someone that, even when we were teenagers and hated each other, she still, we still could get past that when I was struggling or whatever. But that also can be dark and heavy. And I'm just ready to like share all the yuckiest parts of me yet, I guess. Um,
The time will come. And if it doesn't, then
yes.
that's
Yes. And I do feel it's very important to be open about it. The only way to get rid of the stigma with mental health is for more people to be open about it and just, but today we want to talk about some more fun things like how I prevent myself from going into deep places uh, of sadness. So one of the things I'm in therapy, of course, and not, anyways, and my therapist, I love getting homework from my therapist. I have a new-ish therapist, and he gave me the coolest homework. He was like, tons of people when you're depressed say, well, you need to exercise. And if you have a good therapist, then you can say back to them, do you know how hard it is to exercise? Like, it's a lot that I brushed my teeth today. So you think I'm going to get up and do push-ups? But he kind of was like, it doesn't have to be a big thing. He was like, you can do small things to like just purposeful kind of exercise, like do one or two push-ups.
uh,
And the other thing that he said that I love is he was like, get a coloring book, get some paints, like put some color onto paper. And it's all about process, not product. I'd never had anyone tell me that. Man, has that been fun.
so you're
It's
doing it. So you've
I'm
done.
doing, yeah. Mom thankfully has a bunch of colored pencils. She has a whole bag
She does.
of like,
Mom loves coloring.
yes. So, yeah. So I just borrowed some of her. So I didn't even have to, I had a book, but I mean, I didn't even have to go buy anything. And I'm not like our mom is very, I'm sure you can imagine this. She's very type A. So like the stuff she colors is like the wings are symmetrical and whatever. Mine is like, I just pick a color and I'm like, I'm going to color this spot now. And then I'm going to color this one. And they might not even be the same direction, whatever. But it is very freeing to be like, well, it doesn't matter if it looks pretty at the end. The whole purpose is, did I add color to, like, did I create something? I'm loving it. Yes, um it's been one of my favorite therapy homeworks.
You did you did a while back, totally on your own. You have a friend that owns a studio, like a ceramic studio or something. And
Yes.
you made me that little plate that had like little polka dots on it. And it's on my coffee table right now. When I needlepoint, I take the extra threads and I put them on that little plate and then I throw them away at the end of the day. But you had said like that was the best therapy I've done in a really long time. And you just went and did that to kill an afternoon one day.
Yeah. 'Cause see, I'll say to her, my friend Sadie that has a ceramic studio, she'll be like, "Well, come down and paint." Like if I'm like, I'm just in a funk, and she's like, "Come down and paint. It's so relaxing." And I'm like, "It's not relaxing because I'm not an artist. Like it's
But I
relaxing
felt
for
like it
her."
was.
But that one was because like
Yeah.
what I did, I literally picked out some little tiny plates and just took like the end of the brush and just dot it. And then I took like the leftover paint that she needed to like get rid of. And I was like, yeah, I'll use it. Again, no rhyme or reason. I just like dipped and then dot. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so therapeutic. I don't even care that it's not perfect. It
Yes.
was so, so fun.
Yeah. And it's a really cute little plate. It's on, like I said, it's on the coffee table. What about the movement? Let's check in. Are you doing some movement?
I did do some arm circles yesterday. I did that was because that was he was like, it doesn't have to, you don't have to do like a whole workout. He's like, you can sit up in bed and do arm circles. The thing about the movement is to have it be like purposeful exercise. So, like, if I'm going, he was like, so do like 30 seconds in each direction of arm circles and do 3 sets of that, which is, no time. Yeah. So,
That's a good start.
yes. Did when I was done with that therapy session, I like hung up and I was like, "Dad, did you call my therapist and tell him to exercise to tell me to exercise?" He was like, "Is that an option? Can I?" No, you cannot. That's something our dad has always been a big believer in, is working
He
out.
has. And he's preached it since we were very, very young that if you would just get up and go out for a walk or something like that, you would feel better. And he's not wrong. But the problem is getting to the place to get out of bed and go for the walk. It's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did have to, he kind of did get it when he was like, I mean, what, you don't have to do anything to go for a walk. And I was like, put pants on. You have to do that.
Yeah. They frown upon you walking around the neighborhood with no pants on.
In this neighborhood, they frown upon pajama pants.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. So that I loved the advice that your therapist gave you, both pieces of it. I loved it for a multitude of reasons. For me personally, I do find creativity is a good like outlet and a good way for me to just like stay connected to myself. Like I'm a big workout person and I wasn't when I was young.
No,
In
none
my
of us were.
No, we weren't really. Our dad actually did work out some when we were growing up. Like he did some yoga and he was a runner for a while. He would get up in the mornings and go running back in
He
our
would
old neighborhood.
like walk around the house with like ankle weights and stuff. Like dad was very fitness
Dad
focused.
was. Our mom really wasn't. She is now. She's very focused on it now. But I started working out sometime in my early 20s. And it was at the time, it was for vanity. I was like, my body had changed a little bit. I had this little, like, I was very skinny and I had a very flat stomach. And I started to not have such a flat stomach in my early 30s. It was right after my divorce. And I started working out for that. And I don't know, it probably most of the time I was working out for vanity. Even 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, I was working out for vanity. I have changed my perspective on working out now. I always knew I sleep better if I work out. Like if I'm on a regular
Mhm.
routine of working out, I sleep much, much better. I also have a better appetite. And in my case, that's really important because I can sort of get by without eating a whole lot. It's
I
not
know.
great, but that's always been a thing that I've done. Sorry, I just bumped that. So I get hungry when I'm working out because I burn so many calories. So it is really good for me, but I've also reached the point in my workout journey. My favorite thing to do is to lift weights and I like to lift heavy. I feel like a badass if I can like squat with the whole barbell and plates on the end of the barbell. Like I really, really, really feel like a badass.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, when I'm heavy, I weigh 120. So I'm pretty small. I'm pretty thin. And so it does look kind of badass when I do that. So I
And
really
you're in
like to lift.
super cute pink like gym gear as well. So like
Totally. Totally.
yeah, I mean it's like
The fit is as,
badass
yeah,
chick.
as important as the workout. I probably didn't come to a place where I really like felt like working out made my life better until probably 10 years after I started. So until my early 40s. That's when I probably started to really start feeling like this is actually really benefiting my life. And I can notice like it's a good stress reliever. Like if work is really stressful, I can get to the gym and I can like crush a deadlift and feel really like just some, I don't know, I don't want to say rage, but like something has gotten out. And I
Yes.
really, it's a big thing for me now. But it took a long time to get to that journey. Now I'm really focusing on my body is very flawed, but I'm focusing on like that is not the point. Like the point is to be strong so that as I age, I can continue to do things for myself. My kids don't have to help me get out of the car when I'm 65 or 70, like things like that. That's my focus. But the truth is, like, when I go through periods, and I just recently went through like probably about 6 weeks where I really wasn't going to the gym and I really wasn't doing that. Um, it affects how I feel. Like it affects my emotional, my mental, it affects, and on top of my strength. Like then I go back to the gym and I'm like, I can barely deadlift 35 pounds. Like, what is this? I was deadlifting 115 and 35. I can't even walk straight the next day. So, but on top of that, it has a huge impact on the way that I feel and the way that I live my life. Like, I think working out for me bleeds into everything about how I feel. It bleeds into my relationships. It bleeds into how I feel at work, how productive I am at home. It bleeds into everything. And as ironic as it sounds, and I know people say this, but I didn't used to believe it until I lived it. I actually have more energy when I go to the gym on a regular basis and I'm taking care of my body, even though I'm burning a lot of calories, I have more energy throughout the rest of the day. For the first week, no. If you go away from the gym and then you go back for the first week, no, you're dead. But after the first week or 2 weeks or whatever it is for your body, for me, it takes about a week to get back into that groove. And then I feel like $1 million. Like I'm not even kidding. I hit the gym 4 times this week. I went with my son, which is one of my favorite workout partner. Actually both of my, I love going with both of them. I feel like $1 million this weekend. Like I'm not kidding. And I know it's because I went back to the gym this week. Like it's really all about that.
It is. And I preach that to patients, especially one of my jobs. I had like a it was prostate cancer all day, every day. And one of the biggest complaints that my patients on hormone therapy, because we're decreasing their testosterone. And so I'm like, you're going to feel tired. And what I would always say is, I'm like, you cannot just let your body think that it's okay to have this level of inactivity. I mean, I would say I'm like,
Right.
whatever extra, when you get up to go to the restroom, do a lap around your sofa just to make sure your body
Yeah.
knows
Yeah.
we are going to keep moving. And so I preach it to my patients and I do see it. It probably takes me about a week and a half. I feel like I want to die for about that first week and a half to maybe even two
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, you have been really great about working out though. And it does, I mean, like you've been really consistent about it. I know you don't see it as much, you're like, well, I fell off for 6 weeks. And I'm like, well, I fell off for like 16 years. So there's,
I mean, the thing is that for me, I, we've talked about this before. I lean toward a very thin frame, and honestly, it's probably bordering on frail if I don't work out. And I feel really strong. Like I love feeling really, really strong. Like I love, I'm single. I don't have a spouse or a partner, and I feel like if I want to move the armoire in the living room, I just push it and I move it, and it feels really empowering. Like I love that feeling. But I do like I enjoy the gym. And there's a community there. It's not that I know anybody there. It's not that I talk to anybody, but I see the same people. We do like the head nod.
Yeah.
Once in a while, somebody will walk by and be like, "Hey, good job on your deadlift," or whatever. It's kind of fun, you know. Like, I love feeling strong though. I really do. And again, like it helps with my appetite, my sleep, my attitude. I'm sure I'm a nicer person.
Um,
Yeah.
where's my
But so
exercise? Sorry.
no,
My
go ahead.
exercise is like I started out this morning watching the Eras tour with the dog because it's our favorite. Yes. She sometimes when my mom when my mom wants me to watch the dog, she'll be like, "Oh, lady turned on the Eras tour for you." Ready to go. And she does like that's a little bit of exercise that I get, dancing around to that, which she doesn't love when I dance around. She does. I do want to say this and put this on the record. Her favorite part of the entire Eras tour that's currently on is the very, very end when we yell, Karma is the guy on the Chiefs, because, Taylor says it wrong in that version. So, but I
Yeah.
say it really loud and the dog is like, "Wow, wow, wow," like, Taylor, get it right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So
You
that's
do like
about as
watching
much
the,
exercise as I do. I
yeah.
do
I think that's also like a point of relaxation for you.
very much. Yes. It's totally one of my favorite things to do is to relax with the dog and sit there and pet her. I smother her. She's not, your dog would do the same thing. Like, let me pet her for a minute. And then she's like, okay, you're a little
Yeah.
much. I'm going to scoot
That's it.
away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely one of my favorite things to do. One of the other things that I
Yeah.
do um, is I, like a few years ago, I literally was looking for a hobby that I could do. I wanted something other than to just come home from work and play games on my phone and watch whatever. So
Yeah.
so I started doing resin, which I love. And again, I'm very process, not product. Like whenever I give people resin, yeah, I love those ones. And people will say like, "Oh, you should sell them." And I'm like, "But they're imperfect. They have little air bubbles, they have, imperfection." And I'm like, I don't want to be pressured and have to make it perfect. I will make a whole bunch of resin stuff. And then every like, I don't know, 6 weeks, 2 months or whatever, I take a big box into wherever it is that I'm working. And I'm like, just pass it around and people just take what they, oh my gosh. People, when Samuel wanted, I was so excited. I was like, "Is there something you want me to make?" And he's like, "Can you make something with Fruity Pebbles?" Yes. And like he hadn't asked for any.
Oh,
And
gross.
he's kind of hard to. I always
Yeah.
try
He
and
is
find
hard.
something. So I was so excited. I had like, but I tried for a long time to get like the right color of the resin so that it looked like milk and to get like the texture and everything correct. So I had multiple fails. And when I finally sent the tray of the Fruity Pebbles, people that I worked with were upset. They're like, "Are you not doing those Fruity Pebble ones anymore? I didn't get one of those coasters." I'm like, "No."
Funny.
I was like, "No, I was practicing so that I could send it to my nephew." And they're like, "So those are, yeah, now I'm eating the Fruity Pebbles."
That was it. Yeah.
But
It's
that,
on his desk. Even today, it's on his desk. If you go in his room, every time I go in there, I'm like, this is so gross. It literally looks like spilled fruity pebbles on his desk. He loves
it was so cool. And I mean, it has been so fun. It was kind of expensive when I first started, but the ongoing cost is not crazy. And it's been, I mean, again, I'm so process, not product. Like, I just want to create something,
it. Yeah.
which is why, like, I don't know why that's never been, when my therapist was like, put color on paper or like put words on paper
Yeah.
and like write, he's like, "I don't care if you write a poem or what.
Mhm.
But that is like creating anything is hugely therapeutic to me.
I mean, our mom is really creative. She always was sewing or painting living rooms, or like our mom was always doing creative things when we were growing
Yes.
up. And so I
Even
do think,
baking. Remember she used to decorate all of our cakes and stuff?
yeah. So I think we came to that pretty naturally. I mean, I have a lot of creative hobbies as well. Like I needle pointed for years, like more than 10 years. I've been needle pointing. Old lady, shout out to the old lady hobbies that because I have all of them. But the needle point is really fun for me. I've dabbled in knitting and crochet. It never really took so much, but my favorite thing lately is I bought that sewing machine a couple of years ago.
Yes.
massive investment. Okay. This is like a ridiculous sewing machine. I always say this is the stupidest thing I've ever bought in my life because there's absolutely no return on investment and it was very expensive. But it's a sewing machine that like it quilts, it embroiders, it sews, it probably does other things too that I don't even know about. Applique, like it does all these things. But you
Yes.
can insert like a little flash drive and then you can embroider, the pattern that's on the flash drive. When I bought it, my intention was to do a lot of embroidery. Like I thought I would put like Jennifer on all my bathroom towels and I thought I would,
Yeah.
like do a lot of things like that. And I did. But then I found quilting and you and Megan have benefited from this because
So much.
rather than making full quilts, because nobody really wants, I mean, maybe they do, but nobody in my circle does. So what I would do is I would make all the blocks and then I would lay them out for, these large pillows, like for the living room or whatever. And so I'd have like Christmas pillows, or I think you guys have 4th of July and Halloween pillows.
Yeah.
Um, and they're like quilted and it's really fun for me. It's really fun. And I tease you guys, you and Megan, and I'm like, yeah, just get ready for all the old lady decor because it's all coming your way. But
Love it.
then I started like finding ways to challenge myself. Like I'd be in the sewing store looking for fabric and I'm like, they have this little pattern for a purse. I wonder if I could make a purse. And so then I made the purse that I've never sent to you, but I'm going to send it this week. So then like I made a purse. I made those little prayer quilt squares.
Yes.
And so I just like now what I'm finding is I want new challenges with the sewing machine. I'm still very much an amateur seamstress. My seams are garbage. Like no one should ever, if I give you a purse, don't put anything heavy in it. Okay. Cause I just don't know what's going to happen. But like I've had a really good time with it. It's been extremely therapeutic. It's been a huge new hobby for me. And then like lo and behold, there's a whole community on Facebook and Instagram and all the places, millennial quilters. I mean, I'm not a millennial, but I'm still in that group. Free quilting patterns, free bag patterns. Like, so I see these things and I don't often, I just look at them and I think, could I do that or not? I rarely, well, about 30% of the time, I probably like print the pattern and go try to make it. I don't know. I've had a great time with it. It's been really, really, really fun. And sometimes when I'm having like a really long week and I've traveled a lot and like the pressure is on at work for whatever reason, I'll find myself thinking like, I'm going to sit at my sewing machine all day on Saturday. And it feels great. Like I literally feel great
Yeah. I mean, I have absolutely loved this as you, or both of us have actually benefited from each other's
from
hobbies.
each other's creative hobbies. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure. Yeah, I think both creativity and movement are important aspects to like humanity. Like we should all be exploring those in some way or other. I mean, to be honest, like this podcast is a creative outlet for both of us.
Yes.
Yeah, remember we talked about like I feel so creatively like inspired as we were like going through the process of creating the podcast, picking out backdrops, picking out topics, like the whole thing we both felt really really inspired creatively.
Yes.
And
Oh my gosh. Do you like coming up with the name? We, I think that was the most creative juices I've had, like for that 5 or days or a week or whatever, where we were kicking around a bunch of names for the
we
podcast.
workshopped so many names. We must have workshopped 150 names. We had like my friend Jenny from work. She was like helping us come up with workshop names.
Yes.
Oh my God. We had so many. We
I
had
know.
so,
All
so
the
many.
people I was working with at the time. Yeah. But I mean, I felt like I was
It's like
constantly
writing poetry.
engaging that part of my brain, like
Yep.
always in the back of my head. I'm like constantly thinking, like, how can I reword this? And there's so, I mean, tons of creative, like just in the writing the descriptions and stuff.
Yes.
Yes, I
Yes.
think the podcast,
There's definitely some mechanical aspects to what we're doing, like, but all of it leads back to a creative something because even just like editing, like obviously we had to learn how to edit the podcast, which we're not that great at. So you don't have to tell
terrible.
us. We already know. But we're like, we had to learn how to do that. But that is like, you have to look at it creatively, fill in a gap and go, will this work if I take this out? There's like everything that we've done for this podcast has actually had a creative bit to it. And I think I mean, for me, it's been really good for me. Like I've stayed motivated about other things in my life because I'm like, I've got to make time on Sunday morning to record with Karen, or I've got to make, like we call them meetings, and we'll
Hmm.
get together and look at the podcast that we recorded a couple of days ago, or we'll look at the reels that we're going to post. But all of it has been really creative. I do think it's kept both of us in a good emotional and mental place while we've been going through this.
Yes. Yeah, I told you I have used this as like motivation for myself, where I'm like, I would be like, okay, well, I can't go do stuff for the podcast and sign us up for TikTok or whatever until I finish putting my resume together and submit it to however many jobs.
Right. Right.
And I still, now I'm not submitting, now I'm not looking for jobs. I'm just waiting to start. But I still do it like with other things where I'm like today, showering did not totally suck because it wasn't just,
Because you had a purpose. You had to get
yeah,
on camera.
I'm like, well, I'm gonna put on makeup. I'm gonna do the cute like blue and pink that I love. I think the podcast has been really a good motivator thing for both of us.
Yeah. And if you remember when I initially pitched it to you, one of the things I said was, I think this could be good for your mental health.
Yes.
I didn't want us to like blow up. I don't want us to become like influencers and
No.
go viral. We just wanted to do this so that enough people listen so that we can continue to do it. Cause I think there's a level of accountability that's different than work or the kids or whatever. And we
Yes.
thought it would be good for each other.
Yes. And it has been really, and I feel like I was concerned that it would cause conflict, like, but we honestly we haven't had any conflict about it. I mean, both of us are just kind of like, I mean, it's supposed to be fun. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And neither one of us knows what we're doing. It would be different if we were doing something that one of us was really good at,
Yeah.
but we literally don't know what we're doing. Like, again, we're recording on our phones. Like,
Full
we have no
disclosure,
idea.
we're recording this episode because we had another episode we were going to air and the orientation was off and we can't figure out how to fix it. So,
Exactly.
like, that's
And
how great
no
we
lie,
are.
And no lie, like I'm watching on, my phone as I record, and I'm like, don't, this lipstick is very gothic. This whole episode may be garbage. After I watch it, if I can't get over it, this may be garbage. So if we post this, please don't come at me for my lipstick. Be kind, because we're just like two idiots who are just trying to get through this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we're just trying to have fun and share it with the rest of the world.
Exactly. Exactly. So look, this has been really fun. Drop comments and tell us what you guys do for your mental health. We would love to hear it. And we'd love to explore like maybe trying other things for ourselves, or another podcast talking about what other people do. So leave us some comments and let us know what you think. And then I would say tune in on Friday, because this will be Wednesday. So tune in on Friday. There'll be one more short episode. And then after that, there's going to be an episode every Wednesday.
Yes. So follow us on all the things, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And like Jen said, please tell us. I mean, who knew coloring as homework was, I mean, and I'm such a homework person, like if the therapist is like, okay, well, I'll talk to you next week. I'm like, back up. You didn't give me an assignment. I'm a little like Monica Geller about that, I guess.
That's funny.
So, yes, please tell us everything. And then we will start doing the full episodes next week. We're really excited.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Like us all the places and to keep tuning in. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Love you, Jen.
Love you, Karen.